All right. I hope everybody can see me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jennifer's Open Book, where we don't believe in filters. Today, we are going to be talking about our title for our show today is romance dead, and if so, can it be resurrected? Before we get into that, I want you to hit your subscribe button, share, like, leave some comments. We're being joined today by the pain in my right ear, my friend and coach, Anthony Parker. Say hi, Anthony.
Hi, what's up, y'all? Welcome. I'm glad to be here. Definitely.
Anthony, I want you guys to go and look at his show, Third Eye Visions, where he's allowed me to be his co-host, so you can catch us over there. He interviews a lot of really awesome people, so go and check him out sometime. So let's get right into the subject. Is romance dead and can it be resurrected? I got you here, Anthony, because when I talk about stuff like this, I always like to get a male's point of view. A lot of people, a lot of men especially, think that first of all, romance is like non-existent. It's for kids. It's in storybooks, and then a lot of people think that it's just something for women, like men don't get anything out of it. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because it's February and some of us just got through celebrating Valentine's Day, not me. But
Mhm.
I see a lot of stuff on Facebook where people say Happy Valentine's Day and then you get like all of these negative remarks and people want to talk about like the awful things that actually happened on Valentine's Day way back when. I can't remember like the whole story and everything. But my thing is like if people want to say happy Valentine's Day and if people want to celebrate, let them. If you don't like it, leave it alone or whatever. But I want to get your like how do you feel about romance in general?
Um, Actually, I still believe in it, but I'm the type of person I don't practice it. But I have a little boy, and when he gets older, or as he gets older, I will teach him a little bit about romance and how to treat females and what you should and should not do. But I still think that it does exist, and it's up to that person to actually practice it. How to be romantic and whatnot. Me personally, it's hard for me to be romantic because I'm not a hard type person in my heart or anything like that. It's just I'll do it, if necessary. But if I don't have to, I won't do it if that says anything.
So you said if you don't have to, so do you think of it as like a job, and when you do it, is it just to get that girl's attention, and once you get it you just like I ain't on it? Are you?
No, I don't think it's a job. It's just that I'm romantic in my own right, in my own way. I was not. Unfortunately, it's affected me. My mom and dad, they weren't the most romantic type, but they loved each other dearly. So, we never seen them kiss or anything like that. I think I heard my dad call my mom baby one time, and that was when, they were out. He had a flat on. This is a long story, but she was helping to jack up a car, and I guess she wasn't doing it fast, and I was like, "Come on, baby, hurry up," like that. But they weren't the most romantic. So I'm romantic in my own way. I hug, I kiss, and I try to when I'm laying down with that special person, I try to share my feelings. But that's basically as far as it go. But I think that you know, I don't think that it's dead again, as I mentioned.
So do you think that like what one person sees as romantic doesn't necessarily have to be what another person sees? Like you mentioned hugging and kissing and everything, and I know a lot of people who are not affectionate,
Mhm.
but and that's not what they see as being romantic. They're not really affectionate. But let's say uh, I wish I could give you an example. I mean, let's for instance, you mentioned your mom helping your dad change a flat tire. Like somebody might not think that's romantic, but that was something that they were doing together. And maybe to them, it might have been. I think that romance is something that brings you closer together as a couple. It doesn't necessarily have to be hugging and kissing and, buying flowers or something like that. I think that you both need to learn what each other thinks is romantic, though.
And that's a great point that romanticism falls into various categories and what have you. So that goes back to me what I stated earlier in terms of me having a hard time to really express my feelings. But I do, if I'm in love with somebody, I'll do things to show them that I'm in love. I don't know if that's the difference, but if it correlates with romanticism or what have you, because I've always was taught that being romantic means buying flowers, open doors, and rubbing, doing just things of that nature. So it may be it may be a cross between that, or as you mentioned, that romance comes on a different category. So I agree with that, and that's why I stated that it isn't dead for me. I don't think that it's dead, and I don't think it's dead for any of my family members because they are in relationships and they show their likings and their romantic side in the way that I do because we were all under the same roof and we none of us saw the quote unquote romantic side between my mom and dad and whatnot. So, but we all love love our partners and what have you. So, it's a good point.
So let me ask you this, because like I said before, some men feel like romance and Valentine's Day and all that stuff is just for the women, and it's like I hear a lot of, oh, that's just some way for the stores to make money and all that kind of stuff. But let me ask you, what can a woman do for you that you would find romantic? Like, what can she do for you?
Um, I think just not well. It's nothing that they can act for me personally. There's nothing that they actually can do. Just me and that person just lying down, conversing, and just listening to soft music and just talking and reminiscing on my part and she reminiscing on her part. We hug and we kiss. That's romantic for me. I mean, the opening doors and all the buying stuff. I never was a person to want to receive anything from a female. I've always been the giver and what have you. So that's a part of being romantic for me. Just the moment, the quiet moment, relaxing, listening to some soft music, and just maybe sipping on something and just cuddling and just enjoying each other's company.
That's nice coming from a man. I know a couple of men who would think like romantic is their wife or their girlfriend or whatever watching a football game with them, and like they sit up and eat and watch the game or whatever, and that's romantic, and that actually leads to something. And like I said, romance is something that's supposed to draw you closer together. So if you can do that, that would be great. I would love to meet a man who likes boxing. I love boxing. I just started loving boxing recently, and I think that would be awesome to go on a date to, like, for real. Like, the first time I actually got to go see boxing live was I went to go see Sean Porter last March. I went to one of his fights, and there was a couple behind me. We were in LA, and it was in the place was outdoors, and it was freaking freezing, and it was a couple behind me, and the you could tell that the girl had not really been into boxing, but she came with her boyfriend, and he was explaining stuff to her, and they were talking about the match and everything, and like they shared like food and drinks and stuff like that, and they really enjoyed each other. And I'm kind of sitting in front of them, paying attention to what's going on in front of me and what's going on behind me. And I'm like, oh, that was so sweet because they could do that together. Now I will tell you that the most romantic thing that anybody has done for me, he did not spend any money. I wanted to go out on a date, and he didn't have any money, and I didn't have any money. He was like, okay, if we had some money, what would you want to do today? I said, I don't know, I guess like have dinner and a movie or something. He said, okay, cool. So we went back to my house. He went in my fridge and pulled out like food and stuff, and he went and he cooked me dinner. And he turned a movie on, like we got a like a we ordered a movie or whatever. On demand. He went on demand and ordered a movie, and we sat up and we ate and we watched this movie, and he rubbed my feet after we were done eating and everything, and like it was great, and it didn't. I mean, the food or whatever, but it didn't cost anybody anything. You know what I mean? And
Right,
it was
right.
really nice. I think a lot of people have there's a misconception that you have to spend a lot of money on somebody to be romantic. And I will say this, that a lot of women make it seem like if you're not buying them diamonds and spending all money on them, you can't do nothing for them. And that's not really how all women think. And it's definitely not how real women think. Real women, they'd rather you pay a bill. That's romantic to me. If you want to pay a
Hmm.
Pay my electric bill, boy, I'm all over you. Thank you. But
Well, I think
even if you don't, I mean, like it's not always about spending a lot of money.
it's true. It's true. I think society has infiltrated the minds of many people and given them this false conception of what romanticism is. And as you mentioned earlier, the scene that you painted, romantic or romanticism or being romantic is just what you make of it, because you don't have to have money. Just the idea of you all being together, the company, sharing each other's company, and enjoying it, rubbing feet and just giving massages and just doing maybe the little things can turn into the best of things or what have you. So I definitely feel that what you said is also true, and definitely romanticism is not dead in the sense that because whatever you do, I mean, let's just even like people who are D boys who out sell, do their thing, and they come back and then buy women, this and that and the third, even though they are doing it in a legal manner. The fact that they have a woman who they care about, they're spending the money and buying whatever it is that they want to keep them straight. Now, that a lot of people may say, well, that's wrong, but they love this person, so they're showing them that side of what they feel is being romantic to that woman. Is, I mean, if you can relate to that.
I can't. So here, listen. I want this so bad, and I haven't. Like, I really haven't had a lot of experience. I had that one experience, and it was great, and I still love that guy for that. That was really sweet of him. But what you just said kind of brings me to my next subject.
Mm.
Um, Pop culture. Do you think that pop culture has a lot to do with what people see as romance, or people just not even being romantic anymore at all?
Emphatically, hell yeah, because of the music, just because of the lyrics. There's no more of innuendos. There's no more of you guessing what's to be said to a young lady or a man. It's just all out in the open. So that's basically, my take on it. That music has kind of music and a lot of other TVs and that has kind of corrupted the minds of many people to think that romantic
Right.
is to be direct and say I want to blank blank you and all this other stuff. So it definitely leaves no imagination. Everything's to the front.
So I grew up with my mother reading me stories like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and my parents listened to Luther Vandross, of course, and Prince and Michael Jackson, and they had like just like all the old school. I love Donny Hathaway and um,
Marvin Gaye.
Enchantment, Marvin Gaye. So we grew up listening to all of this kind of stuff. So we had in our heads these perceptions of love and romance and everything. And you can even see when we grew up. Like I grew up in the hood, right?
Mhm.
And I would see those guys out there, they doing illegal stuff, but at the same time they taking care of their women and their kids and stuff, and they opening up the doors for their women. They sagging and everything, got, you know what I mean, they got the big chains on and all that kind of stuff, but they opening up doors, they like, okay, I'm making this money. I'm about to go buy my girl some flowers and some
Right.
candy. They might even mess around and buy them, a car or whatever. And I grew up looking at this. I'm like, oh, if, I would like to have a man like that, somebody to do stuff like that for me, who loves me enough to do this for me without me asking. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even have to ask. They just like, oh, I'm thinking about you. Here you go. And
Right.
plus, I have a brother, a father, and a grandfather. And I watched them and I know what they did. You know what I mean? I know because I hear everything. So I
Mm.
know what they did when they, you know, not I know what they what they did,
Right.
my
Right.
dad and my grandfather and stuff like that. But at the same time, like my granddad, every week he would go to Sam's Club. And when he came home on Fridays from Sam's Club, he would bring my grandmother flowers just 'cause. And he would give her pedicures, he did her hair, he helped her dress and everything. And I know it was a lot of, like, no relationship is perfect. So I know it was a lot of, things that went on, but he still showed his love in that way. My stepmom, she wasn't the affectionate type of person, but he did what he could. And that lady had diamonds and fur. She smoked a lot. So when he left the house, he went and got her a pack of cigarettes and brought it home, which some people won't see as romantic, but he was thinking about her. He's just letting her know, I'm thinking about you. I know you're going to want these cigarettes. So I'm bringing you back a pack of cigarettes. You know what I
Mm.
mean? My brother and my sister-in-law, they have a great relationship. And my brother learned from my father, and they do things together. They have 4 children. She's in the Navy. He's retired Navy. And he still takes the time to, like, take her out on dates, and they take trips together and stuff like that. They have their moments, of course. Like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. But I'm looking at these men and what they do for their wives and what they do for me, because my men take care of me. My brother and
Mm.
sister-in-law lived in San Diego. They drove to Las Vegas to take me out for my birthday, and they took me to an expensive restaurant. And my brother gave me like $200 and took me to the casino. And then they had me come back out to San Diego that November, and they took me to go see Wild and Out and stuff. And I explained to them, I said, y'all are the reason why I'm single right now. Y'all are why. My dad, and on the other hand, like, they were spending money. But I'll give you this, on the other hand, my dad, I was living with him, and I get migraines. And sometimes Excedrin doesn't help without, like, sometimes I have to take it with a Pepsi or something. And there's a store down the street from my house, but my dad is always moving around. So I said, Dad, if you go out the house today, can you bring me back a Pepsi? He said, okay. He grabbed his keys, walked out the door, went up the street to the store, came back and brought me a Pepsi. You're the reason why I'm single. Because if I would have asked any of my other, like, any boyfriend that I had to do that, they'd be like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Or I
Right.
gotta see what
Right.
I can
Right.
go with it. My dad just went and got me a Pepsi. Like, that's why I'm single. I go over to my granddad's house and I'm talking to him, and we just talking, and he making me a sandwich that I didn't even ask for, or some brownies or something. Like, these men are like, this is my standard. You know what I mean? Like, this is, you have to be like them or better. These
A
men in my
measuring
life,
stick.
yeah, that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe, and somebody told me at one point that my standards were too high. My cousin told me that I want the men that I read about in my romance novels, and he's like, "You gonna be single for the rest of your life if you're looking for that man." And I know I'm not looking for that man, because the men in the romance novels are not real. This
Mm.
is somebody that these are people that somebody made up their fantasy, and so they're making them your fantasy. I don't want that guy, but I do want to be loved, and I want somebody to show me that they love me, because I'm going to show them that I love them. The
Right.
same man who cooked me that dinner, his birthday came around, and I didn't have any money to buy him anything for his birthday. So I cooked him his favorite meal, and I made his favorite cookies. And he spent the whole day like moping around because he was pissed off because he had no money or whatever. And he didn't say thank you. He was signing draw all day. And then his cousin called him and was like, come on, I'm taking you out for your birthday. And he gets ready to walk out the door and ask me, can he, do I have $20? No, I don't. And he was ready, like he was up and ready, he was happy because he was going out and everything. And that, like, kind of, that hurt my feelings is what
Right.
it did, because I can take, you not having it and doing what you can to make me happy, but then when I do what I can to make you happy, it's not good enough. You're not happy until going out with your people or whatever.
Well, it definitely works both ways in the midst of being romantic and whatnot. So I can definitely understand that wholeheartedly.
But I think that it's very important. I always stress communication in relationships because, like I said before, what I think is romantic might not be necessarily what you think is romantic or what makes you feel loved.
Mm.
And I think that the whole thing about it being for women, a lot of women don't really know what to do for their man, because women like flowers and jewelry and stuff like that. But what exactly do you do for your man? I like to make my man smell good. I can pick you out a cologne that matches your personality, and it will be perfect for you. You won't even know that you like it until you open the bottle.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
can do that, but that's just like one thing that I can do for you, and you don't want that, like Valentine's Day, birthday, Father's Day, Christmas. Like, what can I do for you that would make you happy on these holidays? I don't want it to always just be about me. I don't want it to be all about me. I want to make you happy. So, like, I'm saying this because I want you as a man to tell us what it is that can make men happy, just generally make men happy.
Well, speaking for us, it's maybe rather hard to speak for a lot of men, but me personally, and speaking with like some male companion counterparts, just food or cooking a nice dinner, or just they feel that if they want their me time, being not necessarily romantic or being loved, or they feel that if they could be left alone. They may leave them alone, not bother them during the time, like maybe watching the game or hanging out with their friends, or not nag them. So, in a sense, for them, it's just being there but not being there whenever they need them
When they
to
need
be
their
there.
space,
Right,
just
right, yeah,
you need
exactly.
their
That's
space.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
So I've seen, well, I should say, I witnessed one instant and heard about another where some females did something really special for their man. I was part of one, and I'll get to that one. The one that I heard about was one of my cousins. She bought Hershey Kisses, and she bought some floating candles, and she ran a bath, and she had the Hershey Kisses leading to the bathroom for a man, and she did this for him for Valentine's Day. So they had like a nice night in, and she did that for him. I don't know, whether this was something that he enjoyed, but that was her putting forth effort to try to make him feel special
Mm,
on that day. The one thing that I was actually involved in, I went to school for massage therapy, and I was practicing as a practitioner at the time. And one of my cousins asked me to come over and give her boyfriend a hot stone massage for his birthday. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And it was really, really, it was romantic, but it was ghetto at the same time.
hmm,
It was nice. She had it she bought him a nice robe and some new boxers and stuff like that. And she went and bought her some stuff from Victoria's Secrets, and she had me set up the massage table and everything. So she had him blindfolded when he walked in the house, and she led him to the bathroom, and I think the bathroom was like all lit up and everything. And she hollers down the hallway, "Now, baby, get naked." I said, "That's when the ghetto kicked in."
how
That's when the
romantic.
ghetto kicked in. So anyway, after that, he came and he got his massage, and she had this lady. I think the lady was a chef. She had him come over and cook. cooked them dinner and everything. So they had dinner, and it was really, really nice. And again, this was her, doing something for him, just
Mhm.
for him. And again, I don't know whether he appreciated it or not. But I mean, is that something that men appreciate, or is it?
I would have enjoyed it. Point blank. Period. I would have enjoyed that. I mean, I would. It's nothing that I would expect my woman to do, but if she were to do something of that nature, I would definitely be uh, gratifying. I would enjoy it a great deal.
Okay, well, I really think that we need to get some more love in our music. And I mean, even in what we watch and everything, I really think that pop culture has a lot to do with the way that relationships are going nowadays. Relationships really are not lasting as
Right.
long as they used to last, and that's because I think it has a lot to do with what people listen to and what people watch. Like, people are watching all of these reality TV shows and everything, and they're making these people lives their lives. That's not
Right.
real life,
Right.
okay? You don't have to, like, these people are getting paid for that. They
Hmm.
they probably don't even live like that for real. They making you think that they do, but these
Right.
people are getting paid for that, okay? We used to listen to, like, we listen to hip hop or whatever, and like, it was for entertainment purposes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
we were trying to get out of the hood. We wasn't trying to stay there. We weren't trying to sell drugs. We weren't trying to sell our bodies or nothing like that. You know what I mean? It was just for entertainment. It was talking about, what we see every day or whatever. But these people live in that junk now. Like, all of these little young rappers, like, almost every week I see these little 20, 21 year olds dying from an overdose. And then all they music, all they talking about is like getting high and getting drunk. That is not your life.
Well, I'm definitely glad that I'm able to decipher between reality and fantasy and whatnot, and definitely R&B music has created a sense of fantasy, a sense of in your face and what have you. So I mean, I was brought up on the old school, as you mentioned earlier, and whatnot, which has taught us how to, as males, um, treat females and what have you. And it's up to you to take that advice, and as well as what your parents give them. But I feel that what you're saying is true, and I also feel that I am a cross between being quote unquote romantic, whatever that the definition is in my heart, and just being me, and making sure my mate is satisfied in whatever way, shape, or form. If she just asks me, can you bring me some water? That's not romantic, but I'll do that because I love her, and in the
And let me tell you
undertone
what would make it romantic. Bring her some water and give her a kiss when you hand it to her.
or something like that. See,
You know
and
what I mean?
that's the extra mile that you need to go. But in summation, communication is always the key, and in my understanding of creating a romantic quote unquote situation for you and your partner. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, yep.
Definitely.
And just to sum this up, romance is not dead. It's
Right.
still there. You just have to find, your level of romance. What do
That's a
you
good point.
what do you think is romantic? And I always say this: communicate with the person that you're with and let them know what you like. Both of you have to communicate. Ask if they're not open, because I know a lot of people who are just, they're not, they're not just going to offer these things.
Mm,
Ask them and maybe they'll, give some answers. But you put a lot of stress on a relationship when somebody has to guess. Like, don't make
that's
me
true.
guess. Don't make me guess. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. I'm one of those people. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna be like, pump your brakes. I'm not feeling that. Don't do that. You know what I mean? So, like, tell me the truth. Tell me what you like and what you don't like or whatever.
Just like that old song by Drew Hill, "Tell Me What You Want." Yeah, you know what I'm
See?
saying.
Y'all
True
listening
that.
to the wrong music. Y'all
Okay.
need to get something 90s and older. It just went all downhill 2001.
Oh,
Y'all
for
listen to the wrong music.
for sure, definitely.
Well, anyway, thank you for joining me tonight, Anthony. I really appreciate it. I
No
know it's
problem.
past your bedtime.
Well, nah, it's not
It's
past my
it's,
bedtime. I
it's
just got
past
off. I,
time.
I got off late.
It's
I
past.
got to.
I got on my pajamas. I'm about to go to
Oh, really? How romantic.
bed. But thank you so much for joining me, and thank you all for joining me. If you have any comments, questions, leave them in the comments. If you want to leave me some questions or comments anonymously, you can find me on Facebook under Jennifer Janelle, JINNERFERJINNELLE. I love to hear from you. If you have anything that you want me to talk about on my show, let me know, and I will surely talk about it. Until next time, I said what I said. I meant what I said. I love you.
Peace.
30.